What is up, local artists? It is your personal local artist, Bo Thomas, here to show you cool art today. Hope you're having an amazing day filled with creative productivity, and if not, if you're just having a relaxing day, then I hope you relax to the fullest. Today we're looking at something very near and dear to my heart, and that's acrylic pours. Silicone dripping technique, to be more specific. There's many different ways to do acrylic pours. Sometimes you can just add something into a type of paint and it just becomes more fluid and pory. Like silicone's a great example of that. I was on a mission to find this. It's something you add to your hair that I found online that contains silicone, and we spent all day. My whole family went, and we went to the store, we went to another store, and it was like really disheartening that we could not find this specific type of hair stuff that had silicone in it. We still ended up doing art without it. The acrylic pours were cool, but you don't get that cool cell action. At the time we were always looking for the cells. We're like, we need the cells. But there's many different things you can put in there. You can put simple dish soap, can have a pretty cool cell effect going on in there. Anyways, this video is about silicone dripping technique, and I can't wait to show it. Let's just dive right into it. It's an amazing video, hot, fresh on the internet, sent to me, and I'm going to share it with you. This is something very cool where you dip the canvas into paint on the ground. I did that by accident when it kind of all poured off my canvas, and I was like, oh my god, the paint that spilled on the floor was actually more beautiful than what was on the canvas. Imagine that heart-wrenching, acrylic pour. But it was fine because I did what they did. Dip your canvas in it, dip your hand in it, and you can just, keep going with it. So this person needs adhesive tape. You need a canvas. I would suggest making your own canvas. A square canvas is cool, but honestly, you can do it. It's not as difficult as you need. You just need some screws, a drill, like a power drill, to screw it in, a couple sticks, and you can make your own canvas. Just go staple gun. I have videos about it. You can do it. All right, so they're getting ready to go. I've never purposely poured it on the ground. I do use tarps when I'm doing this kind of thing because it's very messy. When I had a studio, even when I had a studio, I'd use tarps because it just gets so overwhelming at a certain point. But I've never purposely poured it on the tarps. I poured it on the canvas. One time I had a bucket swinging, right? So for me, it was all about creating a spectacle. I would have the canvas rotating on one of those it's like a rotating circle thing. The name's escaping me. Doesn't matter. The canvas would be rotating, and then I would have a bucket swinging. So the bucket swinging and dripping this cool pattern of paint as I'm pouring on the canvas that's spinning. It's a whole spectacle I'm creating. It's all over my Instagram. Like I said, come follow me. I'm plugging it way too much in this one, but come follow me. I swear I'll follow you back. I'll try my hardest to. Okay, so they're doing a kind of like a primer of black on it. That's smart. Can't tell you how much it is just a bad feeling when you've done a great pour and part of it is not covered in paint and the edge, and you go back and do it. It's just very difficult to do. So it's smart. It'll make the paint go easier on the canvas. There's many reasons to do this. It's interesting they chose black, very dynamic. It'll make me think of space, honestly. So kind of like that. I would use white sometimes. One, because I had a lot of white paint from the residency I was using, and two, because the other paint kind of leaks into it and it's kind of nice. So that's to mark the canvas. Interesting. Okay. Wow, this is so much more work than I would do. If I'm being honest, I would just pour it on there. I would just pour it on there. I don't think you need to mark it. This person's more of a professional. They know what they're doing, so we'll listen to them. You mark it. Silicone oil. See, this is stuff I was looking for. I don't think they sell just silicone oil. I mean, they probably do online, but in stores, they don't. Do they put it directly on there, or they put it in the paint? Yeah, I put it in the paint too. Only in the yellow color. They said comes only in the yellow color. I mean, I wonder if they mean they're only going to put it in the yellow. Alright. I'm going to put it on there. Oh, so they're putting a lot of black on there? Yeah. I would put a base. Okay, interesting. Wow. See, this is good paint when you can layer it like this. I had access to house paint, so This was obviously much different than what I had access to, but you can turn house paint into acrylic pour. I've done it, and you can get some pretty cool pours going. This one is going to have amazing because I could just tell. I can already tell just by how they poured it in the cup. Looks like if you've seen the movie Hook, they'd be drinking that in the movie Hook. It looks so good. Wow, interesting. Interesting. Oh, they're going back over it? Wow. They're using the same cup for it. Wow. So you could never do this with house paint. You could do acrylic pours with house paint, but you can't use these same rules. Like they interact differently. House paint is not this forgiving, you know? If you blend the wrong colors, it looks bad. It does not acrylic pour the right way. You kind of get like a one and done, and you have to know which colors. This one looks like you can get kind of messy and just like really, and it kind of stretches better than the house paint does. I had access to unlimited house paint. You didn't get to choose your colors necessarily. It's whatever people donated. It's a bunch of half buckets of paint, but you got cool colors. Interesting. Okay, so this is where it goes to, and then they're going to stick it. Oh my goodness, I ruined the reveal. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back and wait. Oh god, I'm doing it again. Okay, so you just put it on there. That makes sense. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say that too. I kind of liked it better how it looked on the original one, but very cool. I love the color patterns. Kind of reminds me of like a monarch butterfly, you know, how it flutters by, or like some sort of tiger, beautiful tiger, an enchanting tiger, not a eat you kind of tiger, like a, you know, best friend in the Jungle Book. I think that was a bad tiger too. Anyway, friendly tiger. Off topic. This is why I always use the paint that would spill over and use this technique, because it wasn't for me. I mean, like this is beautifully done, and this artist is amazing, and they should get a follow. But at the same time, like I'm gonna follow them. But at the same time, I feel like the original pour had something to it. Maybe if you're going for something, like maybe you're going for like a trauma theme or impact or something where it's like smushed, like it goes with a theme, and then I get it. But if you were to just say aesthetically, which one would I do? I just think the original pour was so much more vibrant. You could even say you didn't have to worry about there not being enough paint. Maybe you can do several impressions. You know, maybe that's the advantage. But if it was me, I would do the original pour on a canvas, and then have the part that spills off, do smaller pours on that. You just have to do a really big canvas to start out with. That's just me. That's my 2 cents. I would love to hear what y'all think about this type of technique. Is the pressing it the way to go? Am I like totally off by thinking that the original pour is the best one, and that you're kind of like not messing with it, but just like just, you know, it'd be hard to put it real even, because like there's some areas where it's missing. And maybe that's cool, you know, sometimes one person's the area they don't like. It's hilarious how you'll do a painting and the area you don't like is what your partner or your best friend or your mom or dad will be like, this is the area I like. So to each their own. Art is so subjective. All I know is I love acrylic pours, and I don't think that it's something that we should try to like gatekeep, because when I had this residency, I actually got somewhat in trouble because they said I was copying the work of some student that had been there like 5 years before. He had seen my work on Instagram because they had posted about the work I was doing at the residency. It wasn't even my thesis work. Is I'd gotten this residency through school for my undergrad, and we had access to these supplies that people donated. And he had been at the school 5 years. I never even met the guy, never knew like anything. 5 years before that, he had gone to the same school as me, California State University, Monterey Bay, had done the same residency, had access to the same like supplies, and then was calling me a fraud. He was saying that I was copying his work when our work was different. We both had access to mannequins, because I guess people donate a lot of mannequins, but we both had mannequins, we both had paint, so we both had the idea to pour paint on the mannequins in like an acrylic pour kind of thing, you know? I did that to all sorts of stuff. At this residency, I poured it on doors. I had many different, on my Instagram you'll see, there's many different things I poured paint on. This is just like what I do. We just pour paint on stuff. I poured paint on a desk, poured paint on doors, like everything I could pour paint on. Mannequins, of course, I see mannequins there, I'm gonna pour paint on mannequins. And I went beyond that. His whole thing was he did one mannequin that was red, had a red acrylic pour, and he had another one that was like blue, right? And my whole thing was I put flowers on them. There were different colors. They weren't all just red and blue. It was like different colors, you know? And like who wouldn't? If you gave artists the same supplies, especially if they're mannequins and paint, I bet they're gonna pour paint on it. And mine had a whole poem. Anyway, it was heart-wrenching because they sat me down. I thought that they were gonna tell me something nice because my whole class had said that they wanted me to be the person that gave like the speech for the art department. They all voted for, I didn't even think they liked me like that. And they all said he should do it. And I was blown away. So they called me in and I thought they were going to be like, hey, because it was like that same day they told me that everyone in my class, we all voted for someone. I thought Stephanie should do it because Stephanie's cool as hell and she was a great talker and she should, you know, I thought everyone was voting for Stephanie and they all voted for me. So I went into the back room and I thought they were going to congratulate me on and ask me like what I'm going to talk about or something like that for the speech, right? No, they said that this other student had come to campus looking for me, looking to confront me because he had seen pictures that they had posted on the school's Instagram about this exhibition. And I was heartbroken. I was so thrown off, so heartbroken. The teachers, you know, I just felt like, I don't know, it was very surreal because like I don't think anyone should claim ownership of any type of work, especially an acrylic pour, you know, like, and it just really threw me off and left a bad taste in my mouth, honestly. So that's my experience with acrylic pours. I don't know how I got into that story, but that's for a whole nother story time. Really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you've had any experience with acrylic pours. Did you spill it? One time I had a fresh acrylic pour that I was putting into like a not a like an exhibition, it was a school exhibition, and the teacher was helping me put it up. It's such a nice guy, Dio. What's up, Dio? Dionisio. He was helping me hang it, and I got the wet paint on his nice artist vest. It was like a sweet, soft artist vest, and I got wet paint on it. And he's like, he was so disturbed by it. And he said something, he's trying to be nice, but he was like, well, you know, we all start somewhere. So somebody like just saying like how amateur I was, and he's right. I did oil paint the night before. I did an acrylic pour, and my thing is I'd add texture oil paint spikes to it, because if there's one thing that looks good on an acrylic pour, it's some texture. So I did like these big spikes of oil paint, and it got on his nice light white, I think it was a white like soft vest, and I was just like, oh my god. Anyway, I have so many stories about acrylic pours. I can go on forever about it. Anyways, in the comments down below, let me know about your experiences with acrylic pours. What's your techniques? Do you buy pre-made stuff? Do you put your own silicone in there? I need to know, because I'm all about the cells. They didn't have a lot of cell action on this. Like I said, very beautiful, but I wouldn't recommend the pressing thing unless you've already, it's on the floor or something like that. If you have a tarp and there's extra paint on the floor, they definitely do this pressing technique. Or just kind of scoop it up and lay it and do a laying technique sometimes. Anyway, follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. See you next time. Peace!